Hello everybody, I am AngryBird. So let's have a look at the second of the newly released reinforcement DLC divisions. It's free, the free DLC divisions. So the second one is the 25th Panzergrenadier Division. This one's released for the Axis. Okay, so let's have a look at the division description. The 25th Panzergrenadier Division occupied the southern flank of the Orsha sector, and much like the nearby 78th Sturm Division, was considered one of the best formations of Army Group Centre. Holding the line against all odds, the 25th Panzergrenadier managed to fight and withdraw from the doomed Feste Plaza, but was subsequently surrounded and destroyed east of Minsk. The 25th Panzergrenadier has access to several unique heavy and super heavy artillery pieces, including the French K331 and Czech K35 105mm howitzers, and the new Gargantuan K532 220mm howitzer. The division also fields strong armoured reconnaissance units. It lacks flak AA defences though, having to rely on the Luftwaffe for air cover. 25th Panzergrenadier Division is a formidable infantry division with long-ranging artillery support, allowing it to match up against even the heaviest of enemy battle groups. Right, interesting. So let's have a look. It says that it was considered one of the best formations of Army Group Centre, much like the 78th Sturm Division, and they are currently a very good division in this game, so I'm expecting good things from this one. It highlights the heavy artillery, so that will be interesting to have a look at, although it is French and Czech artillery, so I'm not sure if that, what that means. I'm guessing they're going to be artillery pieces, maybe similar to the Russian heavy artillery. So Germans maybe get their own back in that department. And then it talks about strong armoured reconnaissance units, so I'm not sure what that will be, although we are expecting very little AA. So it looks like it could be a fairly it talks about being a formidable infantry division as well, so this could be a fairly good all-round division. Let's have a look. So Eugene have it as a rating B, and they also have it as a mechanised division, so 2 mechanised divisions being released. So, well, anti-air, only 2 slots and they're 2 and 3 points apiece. You weren't wrong about that lack of anti-air. Let's have a look at the units. So Recon, 2 slots both at 1 point, so that's nice. Recon isn't fantastic in this game, so it's nice to have them at least cheap units if you're going to use them. So they have the BMW and Aufklärer, which are pretty standard. The SDKFZ 250-10 with the Pak 35 and 36. This is interesting. So it's only 25 points. You can get 6 of them in A phase. And it's basically a Pak 36, but mobile. Fairly decent speed, so you could see this going forward with opening units. So not as fast as the D-Zips with the 45 mils that can quite easily take this out. So interesting unit. I can see people taking it. We'll have to see how it works, but you're going to take it in A phase. So we've got the SDF, I can never pronounce this right, SDKFZ 250/8, which is the Recon, which is the same sort of hull but with the KWK 37L/24, so the 75mm assault gun. So this is like having an IG gun on tracks. So yeah, again, I mean, you put these 2 vehicles together and they can do some decent work. Got the Spar Troop and the SPW 231, so this should be a good unit. I'm really excited to see more autocannon units in this game. I think it is lacking the mobile playstyle that was definitely highlighted in Normandy 44, and I really like the reintroduction of more autocannon units. So you can get 4 in A and 8 in B. I think people will take them in A phase. 4 of them, it's not many, so it's a good card. It's not over the top. 85 kilometers per hour road speed, so it's slightly faster. And these autocannon units, they're fantastic. They will just rip to shreds, transports, infantry on the ground, support guns, anti-tank guns. If they got a chance to fire first, they'll rip them to shreds before the anti-tank gun can fire back. So definitely looking forward to seeing this in action. And then we've got the SPW 233 with the same assault gun, but this time with heat shells, 100mm, and AP shells at 55mm. So not quite as excited to see this one over the 231, but could be a decent or accompanying unit. I can see all 4 of these being used early on, but it doesn't leave much recon for the later game. So maybe I can see a lot of light armoured use early on, which is what they did say in the description, armoured reconnaissance vehicles. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get played. So let's have a look at the infantry. So we've got the Ersatztruppen, always a decent 1v1 card. You can get a lot of units out cheaply to spread across the front line and defend territory. It's good to see the SOS troop in the division. I do like these at the moment. They got the 5 MP44s, which are very strong at the moment, and the Molotov cocktail. Which is reasonable at the moment. So I do like these units. It's got 2 cards of pioneers. I imagine both of these cards will get taken. Let's have a quick look. No new transports. So I imagine most people probably will take in 1 card in A, 1 card in B. 3 cards of Panzergrenadiers and 4 cards of Panzergrenadier with the Panzerfaust. So not much to really say about these units. Decent units really. 2 cards of Stern Pioneers, which is interesting because the other day we looked at the Russian division that was supposedly an assault engineer flamethrowing division, and yet this division, the 25th Panzergrenadier, which isn't highlighted for that reason, has more cards of CQC flamethrower troops. So I'm not sure why Eugene didn't add more cards of the assault engineers to the 84th Guards. So strange. But these Stern Pioneers, they're CQC units, so they've got the 5 MP40s and the Flammenwerfer, so very much CQC units. These get caught out in the open outside of 100-metre range and they are toast. That's why they've got the smoke. Well, toast, it's not a pun there either. That's why they've got the smoke grenades, but smoke grenades aren't as helpful in SD2 as they were in SD1 because the range, because SD2 is such a bigger scale, you can actually, from what I remember, you can throw the smoke grenades further in SD1, so you could actually utilise them much easier. At the moment, because of the range distance, you can basically only throw the smoke on the ground, and then as soon as you move forward to throw the next smoke, you're basically out of the current radius of the current smoke, and then you just get wasted by machine gun fire. So I'm not a fan of the tiny range in this one. I can understand why, because although saying that, I think the anti-tank grenades, so yeah, the frag grenades have 100 metres, so you can throw a frag grenade 100 metres, yet the smoke grenade that's probably lighter, you can only throw 60 metres. Doesn't quite make sense to me, that one. I think they should buff the above the range of these smoke grenades. But that's for another day. So let's have a look at the tank tab. Not many tanks, a bit similar to the division yesterday. We've got the Panzer IIIH Führer. I do love this little unit. This used to be in the SD1, in SD Normandy, and it's in a couple of other divisions. I like it because it's a different colour scheme, and I love the black and the red. I do really like this unit. So let's have a look. Stats wise, you know, it's a light tank really, but then I suppose this could accompany your A-phase push, 3 leader units, a Panzer IIIH leader unit with it. Could be decent. So we've got the Stug 3G, standard tank unit, you know, standard medium tank for the Axis really, and I think it's the same sort of unit numbers you can bring in, and then the Stug 3G Führer. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think most people will just take 3 cards of Stugs, you know, A, B and C phase, possibly the leaders as well. I'm not sure at this stage what people will do, but I would think that most will take the 3 Stug 3G cards. Okay, so in the support tab we've got the Flammenwerfer. Like I said yesterday, these are interesting units. I don't think they're overpowered, but they're not always a must pick, but they are picked very often. So the IG-18 now, for me, this is a must pick, and these are very powerful at the moment. I always love to see the IG-18s. So 4 cards of MG-42s. It's a lot of cards of MG-42 units. Interesting. I mean, for me, MG-42s, you would never take them over the IG-18s, never. So they're the same points, and you never take them over an IG-18. So something needs to change with the MG-42s or the machine gun units, and whether that's the IG-18s or the support guns having a price increase. But at the moment, I think there needs to be a little bit playing around and balancing around those 2 units. Opel Blitz munitions, you know, standard. The IG-33. So I haven't actually gotten to use this unit yet, and I cannot wait to use it. Like, not many people use it in 1v1 because it costs a bit more than the IG-18s. You don't get as many of them, and the fire rate is much slower. But with the introduction of the heat shells, 160mm penetration, these might actually start getting used as anti-tank weapons. You know, especially against those IS-2s that were brought out the other day. So yeah, they're nice support tab, lots of unit choice. I can see most people taking one of most of these. So the Flammenwerfer card, the IG-18, probably not the MG-42, probably not the IG-33, but maybe the Commandant, you know, for that infantry buff. Maybe they'll take them. Yeah, let's have a look at the anti-tank. So again, lots of unit card choices and lots of cheap ones as well. So Panzer Shreks, always decent in 1v1. I think they get less used in team games, but 1v1 you tend to see a lot more anti-tank infantry squads being used. The lovely Panzergrenadier 41. I love this unit. Don't use it enough myself. In fact, this one's only got the APCR shells. I thought they had their heat rocket shells, but maybe I'm mistaken. Only 100mm of penetration, and because it's APCR, it only gets 1 damage. But I think, if I remember right, it does critical. Every APCR shell is a critical, but bouncers are counted as critical, so it still doesn't mean, you know, you're going to get a useful critical. So it's only 25 points though, and let's see the transports. You know, you can get them in the Horse, which is a decent starting unit, and yeah, I think the Horse is the fastest unit, or it equals the Opel Blitz, but it's slightly faster off-road. So yeah, he struggles against the Jeep. So the Jeeps can take the M42s with I think it's 105 kilometers per hour. So they'll struggle to get in position before the main. I suppose you could possibly get there before the Studebakers, but you might be under fire from other, you know, enemy units. So I like it. I'm not sure it will see much action in 1v1. I think more people will tend to take the Pak 38. The APCR is 150mm and the AP shells on its own is 100mm, but the difference here, look, the damage 5. So if you penetrate, you're much more likely to get the one-shot kill with the Pak 38 than you are the Panzergrenadier 41. Having said that, the Panzergrenadier is 60% accurate, so, but the range is only 1,000 meters. Look, the rate of fire is not that much more, so that range is short. But you can see these going through woods and forests. I mean, the stealth on the Panzergrenadier is very good, so they're likely to get shots off, you know, and maybe not get the return fire that other anti-tank guns would. So you get the Marder 2. I like to see units in the back of these. That is good, because previously, I'm not sure if all the Marders, but some of them, they didn't have units in. It made it look rather odd. So yeah, really nice to see the units in the back of this unit, in the back of this Marder 2. And the paint job, I like what they're doing. It's nice. So it's got the Pak 40 in it, so it's like having a mobile Pak 40. Although I don't know why the transport truck's displayed with this. Is that just a oh, it's gone now, look. So that was just a little bug, I think. So you can get 3 of them in A phase, which is not many, I have to say. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether people take these, maybe more in B or C phase possibly. I mean, 190mm penetration, they could get some nice side shots on some IS-2s. I mean, technically it can pen frontally, but that's probably at like 500 meters, so yeah, I like that unit. So you got the Pak 40, pretty much a standard pick in most. If you're looking for an anti-tank gun, you can't go wrong with a Pak 40, that's for sure. And then a Pak 43 88mm, that is certainly set to take out the IS-2s. If you need an IS-2 taken out, who are you going to call? Pak 43. That was terrible. I apologise. Right, anti-air. We got 2 choices: Flak 38 20mm or the SDKFZ 7/1. Now the SDKFZ is a great unit, but you only get one of them in A, and you only get 2 slots. So if someone takes this in A, they're a madman, absolute madman. Take this in B, I imagine pretty much everyone will take this in B. Possibly some people might want to try and hold off to C, but you're going to struggle unless they've got a great fighter. They did say they've got the Luftwaffe on hand, so if they've got some great fighters, you might just try and hold off. Maybe use the fighters in A phase, the Flak 38s in B phase, and then the SDKFZs in C phase, but I don't like the sound of that. So what we do have to help us out though is the SDKFZ 11 Flaks can bring in the Flak 38 20mm, so you can get 6 of these, so that's 12 anti-aircraft units. And when you say that, that sounds a lot better than holding off, you know, if you're trying to hold off to C to get those SDKFZs in C phase. And this is interesting as well because Flak 38 20mm aren't that bad. I mean, they're not great, but they're also not that bad. I mean, anti-air in this game, I think in the Normandy game, the small anti-aircraft guns were pretty bad, and I think that was mainly down to range issues. Whereas these have the 2,000 metre range, they're only losing out by 500 metres on the bigger guns, and even the SDKFZs have only got 2,000 metre range. So to say that this has got a lack of anti-air when you can get basically 12 Flak 38s in A phase, that's not really as limited as I was expecting. I mean, even if you took these in like a Kubel or a Horsch, you still get 6 in A phase. So if you deployed 3 in A and 3 in B, it's not the end of the world. And in 1v1, most people tend to take 2 anti-air guns in A phase, so like 2 in total. So on the Russian side, I think it's I can't remember, I think it's a 37mm, but they'll have like 2 of them. So to get 6 is not as limited as it sounds. You know, I don't think this is as limited in anti-air as what it was made out to be. Okay, so let's look at the artillery tab. We probably spent too long discussing anti-air there. So standard battery Führer, Beobacher, 81mm, and let's have a look. So I think this is one of the new Czech guns. Oh no, actually I think this is in a different division, the K35 105mm. No, sorry, this is one of the new units. So it's 105mm, 30 shells, 8 smoke shells. So good artillery unit, really. 75 points, 2 of them in A phase. They got radios, corrected shots, very nice on these big artillery pieces. Yeah, I think that's a decent unit. I think that will see a fair bit of action. Funnily enough though, it is coming up against the French the French K331 105mm, which has got the same stats. The French is 2 rounds a minute faster. But I think in game there is a slight difference on the dispersion, the dispersion of the shots. I think I saw something in one of the forums that gave a slight difference there. So the French model is 5 points more expensive, but you get 1 more unit in A phase than the Czech model. So you're paying 5 more points, but you get an extra unit in A phase. But then 1v1, you don't tend to take a lot of artillery in A phase. Well, I don't anyway, I'm not a massive artillery player. But I think the 6 rounds a minute on the French gun, probably, that to me that's worth more than 5 points, so I will take that for the extra 5 points there. Okay, so let's have a look at the K331. Oh no, sorry, we just looked at that. There's a lot of artillery choice in here as well, because you've got the SK. But the thing is, they're all competing for the same slot, so I guess it comes down to preference really. The SK18 100mm, that's got the AP shells, so you might want to use it a bit further forward, so that it can be used in that AP role. But I doubt it. Very few people would do that. Yeah, so it's got more damage. Oh no, wait, that's probably the AP damage. So you know, they're competing for the same slots really. Got the 120mm mortars, they're competing for the same slot, so they've got no radios. I will probably want one of the artillery pieces here for the radios. So we've got the SFH 18 150mm, so that's 120 points. That kind of breaches the gap between the 100mm and the 220mm gargantuan that we'll come on to. So you know, decent piece. I think we've seen that in all the divisions. The Nebelwerfer 42, so I think this is a new unit. The Nebelwerfers are in a different division, but this one is the 42 version with the bigger rockets, and I'm hoping that this will be a great new addition, because the Nebelwerfers in the Normandy game were fantastic. If you ever watched Rangru's videos, he would tell you, just bring a Nebelwerfer. So it's in the SD2, the Nebelwerfers are they're very hit and miss, and I don't take them, and I think most people tend to leave them alone because they're very hit and miss. So it will be interesting how these Nebelwerfer 42s perform. I am looking forward to seeing them in action. And then we have the gargantuan, the K532F, 220mm more artillery. So look at that. I love that it's got a little wooden board on the back. I can't imagine how these. So it has got a strength of 10, but there's only 4 unit models showing. I can't imagine how those 4 unit models are going to actually move that thing. You see, I think they ought to model it so that it comes in on a truck. Oh, people would absolutely moan about this. I was going to say, it comes in on a truck and you put it down and then you can't move it, but people will go mental about that. They go mental about the disappearing transport truck, so that would absolutely destroy people. Yeah, I think the simulation of moving this artillery piece could be looked at, because I don't know, but I can't imagine that will move very easily. So maybe, you know, when they brought it, it would affect balance of the game, wouldn't it? But maybe when they brought that in, it took a lot longer to move. You know, we'll see. So 11 damage, 9,000 blast. You can actually get one in A phase, lot. Ooh, that's lovely. B phase and C phase, 4 of them in C phase. I can imagine most people bring them out in A phase, or actually most people will probably bring them out in B phase, bring a smaller, I say smaller, they're still pretty big howitzers. Yeah. And finally, let's look at the Air Force. So we've got the Dornier 215B-4 recon plane. So that's got medium resilience, only 1 machine gun, and it's an air only machine gun. Don't get caught out by this, because I did the other day and I actually bought one in thinking I'd be able to strafe units on the ground with it, but you cannot, because this is only air to air. So if that was air, if you could strafe on the ground, it probably would still say air there, but over this side it will say air/ground. In fact, let's show you on this one. So here you go, lot. It says air/ground there, so you can use that on ground units. But down here on this one, it just says air. You know, it still says air over here on the left, but this one only says air, so you can only use that air to air. And I think that's actually these guns at the back on probably the ventral turrets on the side. So yeah, don't get caught out by that one. So this recon unit can only fire on other air units. Medium resilience, not too bad, so it will stay in the air under some light anti-air fire. You get 4 of them in A phase, which is good, only 50 points. I can see that getting into some decks, not many, but some decks. Okay, so you've got the ME410A-1 heavy fighter. Don't really like this, if I'm honest. It's the agility does it in for me. Bad agility, it just gets shot down too easily. I mean, it's cheap, but not one of my favourite units. So this is the ME109G-4. Do love the ME109 models. I presume that's some kind of air intake. I mean, I don't know a lot about that, but that's probably an air intake for the engine. Are they? You see, I've never noticed that. Are they the guns in the top? Yeah, there you go, lot. Fantastic. Do love the modelling. So let's have a look 3 in A phase, 95 points. This will get taken pretty much every time. 620 kilometers per hour. Yes, this is a good fighter unit. I can see this getting taken. A phase, B phase, boom, you're done for fighters. A phase, I mean, you could even take 2. You could do what I said, hold those off for B and C phase, and then take 2 cards of these in A phase, and you've still got 6 fighters for the entire match. In 1v1, that's more than well, I wouldn't say it's more than enough. It's enough. That's enough fighters. So, and then you've got the ME410s, which could maybe help you out later on in the game. So, they said this seemed that anti-air would be a problem in this division, but it doesn't feel that way to me. So you got the ME410 fighter bomber, 8 50kg bombs. I don't see this being used much. You know, it might complement your fighters if you took it in A phase, and it certainly can pin down infantry, but I can't see it being used often. Got the two 250kg bombs in the loadout. This may be taken a little bit more often, but I still can't see this being taken. Bombers at the moment very underpowered. You know, maybe in team games, but no, I can't see this really being taken. And then the ME410 A-1/U4. So this is a tank buster for the Germans. 150mm penetration. That's good. That is good. Now I'm not I think this is modelled against the armour of the tanks. If I remember right, they used to be modelled against like top armour, but I might be wrong on that. If you know, drop into the comments. But 150mm penetration against most tanks is more than enough. Against IS-2s, you're probably going to want to hit the side armour, but if you hit it in the side, that's probably going down. And these fire fast, 46 rounds a minute. Well, I suppose they're coming in quite fast, so I'm not sure exactly how many strafing runs you'll get out of this, but that's a good unit, and you get 3 cards of it. 1 in A phase, 2 in B phase, 4 in C phase. I can see this being taken quite often. Right, I think that's it for the division. Defences, like I said the other day, I don't really play modes which use the defences often, but you do have the Pack 38 bunkers, although it says Pack 50mm there. They are 50mm guns, but they're the Pack 38, so they'll probably come in handy, I'm sure. Let's pick out a star of the show for this division. Do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the SPW-231. I'm so excited to see this. I am so excited to see this unit in the game. I love autocannon units, and I want a bit more mobile warfare in Steel Division 2. It sounds ludicrous because of the amount of tanks that you can get compared to Steel Division Normandy, but sometimes it just feels a bit lackluster. So yeah, it'll be nice seeing these. It would be nice to return to days where, with some A phase light vehicle, I don't want to use the word rushers, but I guess it'll be rush. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that unit. Okay, well, join me again. Like I said, what I'm going to do is when these new divisions are being released, I'm going to do a quick look. This was probably a bit longer than a quick look, if I'm honest. I'll try and keep these a bit shorter next time, I think, because we are going to do full division reviews, but I'm going to try and stick to 1v1, so they might be a little different to what you're used to on other channels. You know, we'll see. Please, well, thanks very much for watching. If you've subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing. It is really nice to see that. I'm only just starting, so I really appreciate, you know, likes, subscribes, comments. Fantastic. Thanks very much. I will see you in the next video.